All right, y'all. Our favorite political commentator, Scott Jennings, just was forced to send over a threat that he just received, a threat on his life that he received over to the FBI. And this threat came up from a deranged fellow person that was on television. The only difference was this person has been fired from every single network, from CNN to ESPN, even was fired from MSDNC. And you know you got to be radical to get fired from there. This individual right now does nothing more but spew some of the worst hatred, except for now, he stepped on the banana peel, slipped, and not going to be able to stop himself from falling. So check this out in this video, and I'm going to expose what this individual said, what he did, and what the repercussions may be. It needs to be for these left-wing radicals on TV that feel like they can say anything with no repercussion. Now, as you see here in the article, it says Keith Olbermann deletes post after appearing. It says appearing. He flat out threatened Scott Jennings' life. And I'm going to show that to you. But first, let me show you who Keith Olbermann is, in case you don't know. I'm going to play this clip to show you what type of deranged stuff he says. I typically would not play what this man has to say for you. I am now. But then after that, I'm going to show you what Matt Walsh had to say, and even Sage Steele. Matt Walsh, the political commentator, and Sage Steele, the former ESPN, CNN, and now she's a White House correspondent. So check out this left-wing radical extremist who's been fired from every single network, what he has to say about Kirk and Trump. Check this out.
Now that we can say with some certainty that if Tyler Robinson indeed shot Charlie Kirk, he shot him for personal reasons because he saw Kirk as a direct threat to somebody he loved, that Robinson was not a stochastic proxy murderer from Antifa or the Groypers or the right-wingers who had so recently called Kirk a fraud, like Laura Loomer, it is then also clear that there is truly only one person whose words created, amplified, mainstreamed, and manufactured this nightmarish environment that has led to Charlie Kirk's death. The leading threat in this country, in this moment, to the safety and the lives of conservatives and Republicans and MAGA commentators and politicians and civilians is not George Soros, and it's not Antifa, and it's not a Democrat, nor a liberal, nor a socialist, nor an immigrant, nor a transgendered person. The leading threat in this country, in this moment, to the safety and the lives of conservatives and Republicans and MAGA is Donald Trump. The individual who's done the most to put the lives and welfare of all of us directly and also by his perverted lead and demonic inspiration of others is Donald Trump. The America in which Charlie Kirk was murdered, the America in which Melissa and Mark Hortman were murdered, the America in which Paul Pelosi was beaten, the America in which Donald Trump himself was shot is Donald Trump's America.
Now, the one thing he's not saying is that each and every one of those acts that he just named was done by a deranged leftist. That wasn't MAGA. That wasn't a Republican. Those two people were shot by the Tim Walz. Melissa Wartman were shot by the Tim Walz appointee, who also said that he wanted him to take out the Democrat Senator Amy Klobuchar. The assassination on President Trump, we already know that man was in BlackRock commercials as a young guy and had affiliations and passports and weaponry that he couldn't afford. The Tyler Robinson, we know that he was a radical leftist with a transgender boyfriend. But you see what they do? He lumps it all in because he knows the left-wing radicals that listen to him, they're ignorant, meaning lacking information. They're uneducated. They say, oh, yeah, all of this stuff happened. He knows it didn't happen by MAGA, but look at how disrespectful he is in the wake of Charlie Kirk losing his life. He blames Trump, and Trump is demonic, but not aborting babies, not child mutilation, not allowing transgenders, males, to go in the bathroom with little girls. No. That's not demonic at all. That's just perfectly regular stuff. But the fact that Trump doesn't want men in women's sports and doesn't want men in girls' bathrooms and does want the educational system better, wants the family unit back together, doesn't think transgenders should be teaching story hour in kindergarten and first grade. It shouldn't be LGBT Pride Day on military bases. Oh, no, that's radical, demonic. But what this man thinks, that's why he is who he is now. Matt Walsh, the political commentator, and just in case you're unfamiliar with who Matt Walsh is by name, you may be more familiar by what he looks like. This is Matt Walsh. He has done some hilarious things that put egg in the face of Democrats, has pissed them off. He's a right-wing political commentator. And if you haven't, check out the Matt Walsh show, because when it came to laying out the difference between men and women, he was taking it to Democrats and they hated him for it. They tried to cancel him, but he's even testified before Congress and just shut them all down. Now, check out what Matt Walsh had to say. And he revealed some things that I didn't even know about Keith Olbermann. Keith, you are already living in hell. Old, unemployed, irrelevant. Fired from every job you ever had. Unmarried and childless. Spending your final years alone. S-posting into the void. Begging to be noticed. When you die, you will leave behind no legacy, and there will be nobody to mourn you or even remember that you existed. Truly, I would rather be unalive than live your life. I'd rather be dead than live your life. I cannot imagine the misery that you feel every second of the day, and you deserve all of it. I blasted him. Now, Sage Steele, and if you're unfamiliar with who Sage Steele is the woman who was the commentator. Matter of fact, I'll pull up a picture of her, a natural picture, because right there she looks like she's in her relaxed state. But I'll let you see Sage Steele, what she looked like, more so that you may be more familiar with. This is Sage Steele. Okay, you've seen her on ESPN, CNN, and like I said, right now she's a White House correspondent. But listen to what she had to say. And in case you're unfamiliar, the reason why Sage Steele was let go from CNN is because she refused to play the game. When she went to go do an interview with Biden, it was structured, it was edited, it was manufactured, and she did not sit silent. She exposed it. And when she exposed it, the left came for her with reckless abandon. She was fired. She was unable to get work until the Trump administration stepped in and made her a White House correspondent. If you're enjoying this video, do me a solid, hit that thumbs up, because I will never ask you for a cash app or a super chat, but you hitting that like button, it truly helps the channel, helps get the information out there. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel, subscribe, and make sure when you subscribe that you hit all. That way YouTube will notify you the next time I upload new videos. So all because she told the truth that the Biden administration wasn't real. And they went after her for it. But check out what she has to say as a fellow host on major networks who has had dealings with Keith Olbermann. Check out what he has to say. Then I'm going to go back to the article to check out what Scott Jennings had to say.
So a long time ago, I muted one of my former coworkers at ESPN on social media because I don't waste my time and energy anymore on hateful people. But the psychosis of Keith Olbermann has officially reached another level. Remember, this man was fired from ESPN 3 times, fired from MSNBC, fired from Fox Sports, fired from a couple of places. He's really good at that, apparently. But it's very clear to me and others now that Keith Olbermann is sick. He is not well, and he needs help. Last week, after Sinclair removed Jimmy Kimmel's show from the ABC affiliates for his comments about Charlie Kirk, did you see what Keith tweeted? Burn in hell, Sinclair, alongside Charlie Kirk. I have no words for that. Yesterday, Keith attacked CNN analyst Scott Jennings because of his conservative views, and he said, "You're next." So I'm wondering, was he referring to Scott getting kicked off the air as well, like hoping he would? Or was he referring to something worse, like what happened to Charlie? It's crazy, which is why it went viral. But Scott and many others CC'd FBI Director Kasp Patel, and then suddenly Keith issues an apology, which may be the first time ever that he's issued a public apology for any of the insane things he said. Listen, there is a huge difference between free speech, First Amendment. I fully support it, even when it's hateful. He's attacked me hundreds of times over the years. How about Riley Gaines? Have you seen what he's done to her? He's obsessed with her, constantly next level attacking her, and basically anybody else that he disagrees with, he goes after them, and that's his right. But I do believe firmly it's another thing when he threatens people. Keith has gotten away with so much hatred and inciting violence, frankly, for years. But fortunately, I mean, maybe now he's realizing that's not acceptable, not anymore, not under this current administration, not during these times when someone like Charlie Kirk is murdered because of his opinions. So, not trying to be dramatic, but Keith Olbermann, you are sick. And I pray, I mean, I know you don't believe in God, but I pray that you get the help that you need desperately.
Now, is that a shocker that Keith Olbermann is also somebody that doesn't believe in God? And this is why them removing religion out of schools and from the workplace is so dangerous. When you got somebody like him that doesn't have a moral compass, that doesn't believe in retribution after you pass on, whether you go to heaven or hell, he doesn't have a wife, he doesn't have children. Not saying that makes a person bad, but it means you can become reckless if you're deranged. Now, let's check out this article, because as you can see, it says he deleted posts after appearing to threaten Scott Jennings. Former ESPN and MSNBC host Keith Olbermann deleted an exposed Monday that appeared to threaten CNN Scott Jennings. Screenshots of Olbermann's post circulated online Monday evening, showing the former MSDNC host responding to one of Jennings' tweets. In a post, Olbermann wrote, "You're next, mother effer," followed by, "but keep mugging" to the camera. While the posts are no longer visible on X, Olbermann's X account, Jennings reposted the screenshot and tagged FBI Director Kasp Patel. Here it is. Wow, Keith Olbermann just threatened Scott Jennings. He quickly deleted the set of tweets after getting called out on it. "You're next, mother effer." Let me get this out of it. "But keep mugging to the camera." And as you know, in this highly intense political climate, you're next, and this person needs to rot in hell, and it's Trump's fault that Charlie Kirk and Sinclair needs to burn in hell with our guy. I don't even want to say his name in the same phrase as that. This person is deranged, and this is what leads to people losing their lives. It remains unclear which of Jennings' posts Olbermann was responding to, but one of the CNN commentators' recent remarks online addressing the lifting of the late host Jimmy Kimmel's suspension, Jennings mentioned Democrats complaining about free speech being impinged upon. So basically, his employer suspended him for being an insensitive prick, and we don't live in an authoritarian regime. Got it, Jennings wrote. Since the assassination of Turning Point USA founder Charlie Kirk, concerns about political violence have risen. While Republicans and others continue to mourn Kirk's murder, some Democrats online have celebrated. Tensions between Republicans and Democrats increased during the 2024 presidential election, and Google had a lot to do with that now that we know that it's exposed, and YouTube. Corporate media and the campaign of former Vice President Kamala Harris escalated their rhetoric against President Donald Trump. Trump was called a fascist by Harris. Former President Joe Biden said Trump should be locked up. According to a recent Neapolitan News Service poll, data shows 26% of those aged 18 to 34 believe America is better off now that Charlie Kirk has been killed. Despite saying it is always difficult to wish ill of another human being. Among Democrats, 24% agree with this sentiment. So as you can see, it's only 26% of those age 18 to 34. 24% just happen to be Democrats. I believe it's all of them. I can't see any Republican right-leaning person saying that. Despite being tagged in requests to comment on this post, Olbermann has yet to respond online as of Monday evening. And he's not going to respond. Because again, it's time these left-wing extremists be called out and they have to face repercussions. The only way the Democrats understand that what they're doing is wrong is when they're hit back with it. If you notice, Trump isn't doing anything that's weaponizing them like they were. What he's doing is going after the corruption that they did, and they call it weaponization. They went after him. They ran politically on getting into office and attacking Trump without any crimes being known of any. They were running on going in, digging and digging and digging to find something. It's one or two things. Either Trump is literally the cleanest politician out here, or the left-wing radical extremists were just terrible at the search. And I don't believe they were terrible at the search. All that digging they did, the worst thing they came up with was a alleging issue in which his lawyer was paid, and they called it legal fees. But they were saying it should have been paid for out of personal money. But then if he'd have done that, they would have said it's some type of campaign violation. So he couldn't win. Or Letitia James saying that he violated a company that never said they were violated, were paid back 100%, said that they would love to do business with him again. As a matter of fact, when they took it up against the Supreme Court of New York, they said, has there ever been a case where there was no victim and there was no complaint and the state stepped in to say that there was an issue? No, it's unprecedented, which is exactly why they threw out that $500 million judgment that Letitia James thought she had. So this is just another example of a member of the left-wing radical lamestream media using their platform to stir up controversy and hatred while they blame MAGA and the right. It's all BS. So I just wanted to show you that our favorite right-wing commentator is being threatened now for his political views, and prayers be with Scott Jennings and his family throughout this tough time. And I hope Kasp Patel steps in and makes an example of Keith Olbermann, because yeah, you do have your First Amendment right, but there's repercussions behind the things we say and what we do. So if you hung out and you watched this, thank you so much from the top and bottom of my heart. If you haven't already, hit that like button. And if you aren't subscribed, subscribe. Most importantly, I want you to stay safe and you be great. I'm Brian Maxwell saying I look forward to seeing you at the top. Over and out, y'all.